Hi, I'm Cody McClary. I'm a doctor of physical therapy, and today I'm going to be talking about good exercises for low back pain. If any of these exercises start to increase your symptoms, just stop the exercise. So we'll start with stretches. Some good stretches are hamstring stretch, piriformis stretch, and what we call low trunk rotation. With the hamstring stretch, hamstrings get really tight in a lot of individuals that sit for long periods of time, or even people that have to stand for too long. With those muscles being tight, since on the back of your leg right here, and they attach to the bottom of your hip, and a lot of your back muscles attach to the top of your hip, if they're tight, they start to pull on your low back as well. So to stretch that, there's several ways to do it, but one way is get yourself a band or a towel or a strap, lay down on your back, have your knees straight, pull back until you feel a stretch, back here on the back of your leg, hold it for about 30 seconds, and then relax back down. So we'll do sets of 3 with most things. So give yourself about a 5-10 second break and then bring it back up, hold for 30 more seconds and relax. So things to note with this one, try not to have your knee bent because you won't feel the stretch near as much. Try to keep that knee straight the whole time. So for the piriformis stretch, this stretch you should feel right on the side of your hip whenever you're stretching it. So the way I like to stretch it is cross one leg over, grab your knee and pull it like you're gonna pull towards your opposite shoulder. Pull until you feel that stretch right there, hold for 30 seconds, and then relax, do 3 times. So you can also push out if that one is uncomfortable. So push out, hold for 30 seconds, 3 times. And then a way to advance this one, if you don't feel it with either one of those stretches, is now grab through your leg, grab your knee, and pull up. And that one you should feel in the same spot. Okay, now the LTR, or lower trunk rotation, keep both feet together, planted on the ground, and then just keep both knees together. Let both knees rock to one side until you start to feel a stretch in your lower back. Try not to let your arm and your hips come off the mat, otherwise you're not really engaging. So go to one side for about 2 or 3 seconds, and then switch to the other side for 2 or 3 seconds. Going back and forth about 20 times. And it's good to engage your core whenever you're doing this one as well. It'll help protect your back a little bit. If your back's starting to hurt whenever you go to each side, just tighten your tummy each time you go side to side, and that'll kind of help protect it a little bit when you're going. Okay, so those are 3 pretty good stretches to get started off with. There's thousands that you can do, but those are 3 very common ones that we find that are tight muscles that would help with your lower back pain. Next we'll go to strengthening. Strengthening, we'll kind of start on the lower level strengthening ones and then kind of show a couple more advanced ones as well. So one of the first ones that I like to show people is how to engage their core. One good one to do is posterior pelvic rotations. So what you're doing is, usually if you're laying down on your back, you can feel a little gap in the small of your back. What you'll do is you'll roll your hips backward like that, and now there's no gap between the mat and my lower back. That made you engage your lower core whenever you were doing that. So just roll your hips back and hold it for about 10 seconds, and then roll them back forward now that I have that gap again. And that just relaxes your core. And then bring it back, hold for 10 more seconds, and then roll it forward. Do about 10 of those and 2 sets of those. Those are a really good one to do. Another good one to do are bridges. Keep your feet about 6 inches apart. I want you to keep your core tight. So tighten your core like we did before, and then lift your hips up off the mat and then back down. So you need to control this with your core. You can do this and you'll feel it in your hips and your glutes, but we're trying to work our core. So you need to tighten your core first, raise up, back down, and then relax your core. That way you know that you're engaging your core every time that you go up. So in this one, just control it up, control it down, and about 3 sets of 10. To progress the bridge, you can also do a single leg bridge. So to do a single leg bridge,
One leg would be straight out, core tight, lift up, back down. So about 3 sets of 10 on each leg whenever you're doing that one is probably good.
This one's kind of a mixture of strengthening and stretching at the same time, but this one's good for whenever you're on your stomach. If you can prop yourself up on your elbows, keeping your hips on the mat, that will stretch your lower back and it kind of works your core a little bit at the same time. So some people don't really feel a whole lot with that one, so if you need to, then you can prop up on your hands. Still try to keep your hips pretty low to the ground. Don't let them raise up too much on you. Keep them down, and then just kind of relax and set into that. Hold it for about 10 seconds, and then relax back down. And you can do 2 sets of 5 with that one. So another good one on your stomach is a bent knee hip extension. So your knee is bent, you're raising your hip up and then controlling it back down. Doing about 3 sets of 10 on each side. This works your glutes, which your glutes are kind of considered part of your core, which your core helps protect your back. On this one, whenever you're doing them, try not to roll when you're coming up. Otherwise, you're not really engaging the muscles that we're trying to get. So if you start to roll, then you're going too high. So even if you only get up this high, that's fine. The main thing I want you to do is squeeze your glute as you're going up. So that muscle should be engaging. Okay, and then there's also a series of leg raises that we can do. So you can do side leg raise. So keep your core tight and then do a side leg raise. So that will work. Mostly the outside of your hip is where you should feel that. You should feel it a little bit in your core if you're engaging your core the whole time that you're going up and down. So straight leg raise there, and then straight leg raise right here as well. And really try to keep your core engaged as you're doing this one as well. Three sets of 10 is probably good on that too. A good core one is called the dead bug progression. It's a progression because there's several series of the exercises to make them harder, so you can kind of choose which one is suitable for you. So with the dead bug, it's exactly as it sounds. You're laying down straight on your back. What you'll do is do that posterior hip movement that we did earlier. So roll your hips back so your core's nice and tight, and then both legs are up and both arms are up. Okay, that's the first of the progression. So if that's hard enough for you and you want to just hold it there, do like a 10-second count and then relax it back down and then relax your core. If that's not hard enough, then while you're in that position, what you can do is you can do alternate arms, back and forth, keeping your core tight. If that's not hard enough, then do alternate legs. So you'll kick one leg out, almost like a bicycle, and then back with the other one. So on this one, try not to let your hips rotate to where you have that arch in your back. Try to keep your back nice and flat as you're going back and forth. And then the last of the progression would just be alternate arm, alternate leg. Keeping that back flat the whole time that you're going. 3 sets of 10, back and forth being 1. So a couple more advanced exercises are planks and bird dogs. And I'll show you a couple different ways on each one. So for planks, you start on your knees, be on your forearms, have your back straight and your core tight. Hold for around 30 seconds, 3 times. To make this one harder, go up to your feet. So keep your back nice and straight and your core tight, still holding about 30 seconds, 3 times. Bird dog. The easier way to do it is to be on your hands and feet. You'll have one leg out straight and the alternate arm out straight. Holding that, keeping your back nice and straight. Hold that for about 10 seconds and then switch to your other side. Hold for about 10 seconds. And that's 1. I would do about 5 and do 3 sets of that. Now to make that one harder, you would be in that plank position on your feet, and then you would alternate, have one arm out, one leg out, and then switch. So those are some good exercises to get started with low back pain. If you have any questions or anything, just email me at cody.mcclary@cns.doe.gov. Thank you.